Hello, and welcome to the Phoenix Grotto. Today I'm doing my review of the Nereid Studios Winter Mirage Tail in a size 4X.
First impression, not very good. The waist keeps sliding down. The ankles feel a little too tight.
I bought this tail several months ago, I'm pretty sure. There was a couple of debacles with my first tail that I got.
This is the weirdest thing I admit I've ever seen. I asked for no side things. Instead, they gave me side bulge. My mom says, This is something else, though, right?
Oh, yeah, you look like a demented fish.
I look like a demented fish. This is, I know exactly what this is. They were giving me pufferfish vibes, right? Aurora pufferfish vibes. You know, that's going to be a persona at some point.
I first learned about Nereid Studios from Mermaid JC from her TikTok video. Then I decided to do some research and found Mermaid Phantom, who had done an unboxing of this tail, and I believe Mermaid Zelda. I believe Mermaid Zelda actually just put out a video of her Nereid Studios tail. So it's becoming a name in the mermaid community. I am the only plus size mer, as far as I know, who has one of their tails. So I wanted to do this review to put my opinion and my experiences out there. So first off, as you can tell, beautiful tail. Sadly, I had a few complications with this tail skin, specifically trying to swim in it. I emailed Nereid Studios with the issues that I was having, and luckily they responded very quickly and to me sounded actually very earnest about, you know, their apologies that it didn't work for me well, and that they were earnest and honest in their desire for feedback, and that they were going to work on the feedback I gave them to try and adapt this to a plus size mer, because a lot of straight size companies who try and go into plus size sadly have a tendency to think that the designs and patterns that work for straight size figures will work for plus size. They just have to widen it a bit or add some material. Sadly, that doesn't typically work. If you are plus size or know a plus size person, you've probably heard this rant many times, so I'm not going to go into it right now. So, first off, the first con at this point was, sadly, I had a bit of both suctioning, like wrinkle suction to my monofin. I was using the Mermaid Linden. The reason I'm pointing is because it's sitting right over there. I was using the Mermaid Linden monofin for this, and maybe it's because it's a smaller monofin. Maybe it's because I don't know. I think it might be because it was smaller, but there was some weird like suctioning, almost like sucking all the air out of a crinkled plastic bag. And then I also had some issues with some ballooning. I believe I actually have some footage of that.
As you can see here, the skin has basically suctioned, like backpacked itself to my body. You can see my belly line, you can see the line between my legs. It kind of bunched at my knees, and it is really backpacked around the monofin, which made it difficult to move.
Also had a bit of a hard time actually getting the monofin on because I had to put the tail on first, then get the monofin on because I don't just slide my feet into it. I adjust the straps every single time I put it on. And then trying to get the snaps on was a bit of an issue because I've got stomach and thighs and stuff in the way, which is a bit of an issue for me to be able to adjust the tail and the monofin to get it on right. Personally, for me, it was a bit of a struggle, and I actually had another mermaid, a friend of mine, actually snap up the snaps on the bottom. I prefer high-waisted stuff for myself. This one hits me right here at like my midpoint where I don't feel it looks very good, but that's also personal preference. But I did have a bit of an issue with the elastic specifically. This, I don't know if you can tell, I'm not putting much effort into stretching this. This doesn't take much to stretch, which feels nice going on, specifically like when you're trying to put it on or even take it off. But the problem is that it doesn't have enough strength, in my opinion, to hold it up when you're in the water. So while I was moving and shifting, not even very much, it wouldn't stay up. It constantly was sliding down. And honestly, I was only in this for what? I think I was in this for a total of 20 minutes or so. 20 to 30 minutes. And within that time, I pulled it up constantly. But at one point, while I was trying to swim, this actually slid down under my rear end. So it was completely off my butt. And I don't know about you, but that's definitely not something I personally want to have happen with my tails when I'm swimming. I don't want to... When I was telling my mom about it, she's like, yeah, you might want to tell him that doing this while trying to swim and holding up the tail with one arm does not work well. And so, yeah. I did inform them that the elastic does need to be strengthened to be able to hold it out, especially for plus size people. We need very, very strong elastic. I also mentioned that they might want to raise the waist. I know a lot of plus size MERS, specifically that I have met, prefer the higher waisted tails. Now that could just be my opinion or the opinion of the people that I've met, because I have seen some that do have the down at the hips, which is great. I mean, whatever works. But I did suggest that they might want to raise the waistband 3 to 4 inches or so, because again, with a larger booty, if we want to go pirate here, you do have to accommodate that and give more room for it. So that's another point that I brought up to them. I also had a bit of an issue with the ankles. I felt that the ankles were a little too narrow. I measured around mine with my feet just slightly apart, as if I was standing in the monofin, and my measurement was 21 inches, which is exactly what they have for the measurement for this. I feel they need to give a little leeway because, as you see, this material really does not stretch, but it's neoprene. It's not supposed to. So I think with that, especially if you have larger ankles or larger calves, lower calves, like several people that I know, they would not be able to fit within this span and be able to maneuver. I think that's part of the reason that I had an issue trying to swim in this and keep my head above water, is because I didn't feel I had the propulsion, because I felt there was a bit too much material. That I do straight up say was an effect, I believe, from the small monofin and a larger fluke. There's also no no vinyl or anything like fin folks, to be able to have some structure, to have a little propulsion to help with this. This is just straight up neoprene fabric, so it is what it is, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that.